Hello everyone. Welcome, 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 awesome bookkeepers. We thank you for chiming in with us today. My name is Keisha Hendricks, your Title One budget facilitator.
And I'm Mercedes Worthy, your program facilitator.
We are led by our fearless leader, Mrs. Hawk, who is the director of Title One federal programs, and also led by Ms. Coxton and Dr. Madding, the executive director and chief officer. We want you all to know, although Mercedes and I are your first line of support, there is an incredible team working in the background supporting all Title I schools. At any time you need assistance and are unable to contact Mercedes or myself, our Title I tribe of support is always accessible.
Amen. So I just want to share a few of our meeting norms that we always share when we come together as a group, and we will go through each one of them today. But just know that we are here to share with you some meaningful and relevant content. We're not here to waste your time, but want to impact you and equip you with some helpful information that will make you even more successful at what you do. This is a confidential zone. What you say here stays here, so you can speak in confidence. It's kind of like being in Vegas. Whatever you do in Vegas, even if you're misbehaving, will stay in Vegas. So same thing here. We do assume goodwill, and we are open to diverse views. So please don't hesitate to share your perspective or however you feel. There is no right or wrong answer. And it's okay if we have different perspectives. But all of that will work together to make all of us be extremely successful. We ask that you do be present and fully engaged in the learning. I know that it's virtual and it is extremely easy to get distracted. Like I just had to reach over and put my phone on Do Not Disturb. So if you need to, go ahead and put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Close your door, put a sign on the door and say, hey, I belong to Title One right now. So try to stay engaged with us to get the information we have. We promise that we will begin and end on time. We are cognizant of your time and that you have a lot of responsibilities, and we don't want to interfere with the flow of that. We appreciate you carving this hour out to be a part of what we are doing here in this session. So thank you for your time, but we will release you on time. And one of our favorite norms is when you hear the sigh, get back to your why. Remember why you do what you do, why you're there, why you're pouring over and slaving over and sweating over all of the papers and all of the things that you have to do. Remember, you're here for a purpose, for a good cause. You're serving a lot of people. You are needed. So just remember why you do what you do. So when that sigh comes out and you think, oh my gosh, remember why I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm. The Title I department appreciates all that you do. Your position is significant to us here, and we remember that you are the needle to our compass. Without your success, we cannot be successful, guys.
Amen. Y'all, I want to say amen after everyone. Okay. So just know that what we're going to focus on today, and you will take away from this session, you will be able to identify the FY22 new account year numbers that you will be using in your account streams. You will also learn how to utilize the new tabs that we place inside of the FY22 budget tracking logs. You will also be able to articulate the deadlines for the FY22 budget closures. And you will also have clarity on the new processes for the monthly verification forms that we have in place. And you will also leave with the understanding of how to meet the new payroll requirements that we've implemented for this new school year. And with that, we're going to start with Ms. Keisha as we transition into our first target lesson.
Okay, which are our Title I account streams. We are still in school year 22, okay, until September 30th. However, your grant year number has changed. We will begin to use 402-3 for your Title I accounts. Regarding your function and object codes, you will use the function and object codes your principal budgeted for according to the needs of your school. For the Title I accounts, your grant source number is 1750. Your facility code is the code specific to your school. For the SIG accounts, this is relevant to Excel, McDonough Middle, and Walnut Creek. We only have 3 schools in the district that have SIG funds. For SIG, you will use 401-3. Relating to your function and object codes, you will use function and object codes that your principal budgeted for according to the needs for your school building. Your grant source number is 1770, and your facility code is the code that is specific to your school as well.
Okay. So if you have any questions about the account streams, I forgot to mention when we started that our chat box is open and available, and we have a chat chica who's on duty watching for you to put your questions in or your comments. So chat us up in the chat box. If you like what you're hearing, you have questions about it. If it is a question, just put a Q with a colon and then type your question, and we will be sure to answer any questions that you may have about the information and material that we're covering. So, okay, awesome. So just chat away and we will answer you. So moving forward, now that you know about the account streams, the new numbers that we will be using during this transitional period from FY22 budget into the FY23, let's talk about the new thing, or the new tab that I'm sure most of you have already seen on your FY22 budget tracking log. And if you look at the screen, it is labeled as end of grant year FY22. If you reference that tab, you will see all of the current balances that are available for spending for your school. Those are accurate numbers. We've worked with finance and got it down to what you actually have, what you left to spend. All of your other tabs have been locked. So this is a tab that you will work from. So any requisitions that you are submitting need to be logged on this tab, the end of grant year FY22. So remember, when you have a requisition, you will send it to us. When it comes back pre-approved, then you log it. If you have amendments that you are submitting, then once those amendments are approved, Title I, our office will enter your amendments onto the budget tracking log. Title I office will also enter your payroll onto these budget tracking logs. And once you receive your requisitions back, you log it, and then you enter that into AS400. We'll enter everything else in AS400 for you. While we're talking on this screen, if you notice, you have pink banners and you have blue banners on the screen here. The blue represents your payroll accounts. Some of you may see negative balances on there, and I sent you emails in reference to that. Just know that we are still working with finance to rectify those balances and to get those corrected so that they are positive. However, if you do any collaborative planning or tutoring, that will not come out of your FY22 budget because we work in arrears. Any payroll for collaborative planning or tutoring will come out of the FY23 budget. We're not working on that yet. We're still trying to close out FY22. And that's just FYI for you to know. Any questions about this new tab on the budget tracking log? So put them in the chat. We'll come back to it. Awesome.
Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about completing the requisition forms. You need to make sure that we have all the information that's needed. We want to make sure that we have our shipping name and address and correct account. We want to make sure that we have our correct vendor information. And you can always go into AS400 and search a vendor and pull up all their information. You want to make sure in the body of the requisition, you could actually type in there, see attached, and have your full cart or quote with that. You want to make sure that you have a requester signature and approval signature with appropriate dates before sending those to the Title I accounts payable inbox.
Okay. And just so that you know, if you want to follow along with us on the agenda, a link to the agenda is in the chat box. So just open up your chat and you can click on the link to open up the agenda and follow it.
Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about a quote as well. The quote normally has a quote date and an expiration date. Those are very important. Your quote needs to be within 30 days. Sometimes I have seen quotes that do not have expiration dates. And if they do not have an expiration date, they are only good for 30 days. So when you're sending them over to the accounts payable inbox, you want to make sure that it is in good timing, that for when we get them, we could go through our approval process and get them back to you, and the quote will still be good.
Okay. We have a question from Ms. Donaldson in the chat box where she was asking, what if I need to order something that falls in an object code that is not currently available in the budget tracking log, and can I use an amendment to add the object code? The quick and short answer to that is, if it was not open originally with your budget at the beginning of FY22 school year, then no, we cannot open that object code for you. However, if it was open at the beginning of the school year and it just has a zero balance, then yes, it's still open. It just has a zero balance, and you would have to do an amendment. But that is something that we'll have to talk one-on-one about, because it just depends on where you're trying to move funds from and to. But if it was open at the beginning of the year, then yes, it is possible that you can move funds to it. But let's have a deeper discussion about that.
All right. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about our Title I requisition life cycle. Determine your building needs. Guess what, bookkeepers? Guess what? This part is the easy part, because your building needs are already charted out thanks to your principal. In your budget finder, you will find a tab called Investment Opportunity. In that tab, you will see that the Title I and SIG funds, if your school has SIG funds, are already allocated. This tab will show purchases and services planned and budgeted for your building, including the function and object code to use for those items. Now that we have what items are or services that are desirable, we need to place those items on a requisition. Once the items are placed on a requisition 220 form, make sure you have supporting documents which are required when submitting your requisitions, like your shopping cart or your quote. All quotes must be within 30 days. Now be mindful that when emailing over your requisition and your supporting documents to the Title I account payables inbox, given the pre-approval process that must take place in our Title I department, please give us at least a week to process and get those back to you. I wanted to express a little bit more detail about the quotes, just making sure that your quote and your shopping cart match the total that is on your requisition. And please, sometimes I know as a bookkeeper, I once was a bookkeeper, we could forget to put the freight and the shipping costs on there. So you do want to pay attention to those things, that your quote or your shopping cart matches your requisition. And you want to make sure that you send those things to the correct inbox. So all of your requisitions and all of your amendments should come directly to Title I accounts payable inbox. Do not send them directly to Mercedes. Do not send them directly to me, because what's going to happen is they may not get processed, or you may delay your process. Okay? Now we want to talk about some essential deadlines with you all. Okay. I know we come in running this year. It's been a lot going on. So it's been deadline after deadline, but here's another one. September 2nd will be the last day to submit all of FY22 requisitions and amendments for pre-approval. Once these items are submitted to Title I accounts payable inbox, Mercedes and myself will go through the pre-approval process and get those items returned to you. Once items are returned, now you have until September 9th to submit them into the AS400 system, okay? September 9th. All of your requisitions have to be submitted within all of your Title I requisitions. Let me make that clear. All of your Title I requisitions have to be submitted into AS400 system, okay? Because September 23rd, that's going to be it. September 23rd, we should have all voucher packs in the office. Okay. When you're making these last transactions for the end of FY22, please be mindful of your delivery dates. There are a few companies that's behind on delivery. There are some things that are out of stock. There's some things that are behind. So be mindful of that, because really, September 23rd, we're shutting down. So that means September 22nd, you need to have everything. You need to have the items you purchased. You need to have your PO, your requisition, your invoice, your packaging slips, and then your voucher pack. You need to have that voucher cover over that. And we need to have all those items by September 23rd. Okay. And I wanted to let you know that as far as inner office, sending them through inner office, don't send them inner office September 23rd. Okay, no mail will be running that day. Now you guys can scan them over to us, email them to us to the accounts payable inbox, and in your subject line, just put voucher pack, and we'll know that we have your complete package. We also want to let you know, guys, because this is a monitoring year from the state. They will be monitoring our expenditures at the school level, especially if you have large expenditures. The state may say, I need you to pull McDonald Middle School requisition 36178. I'm just making up another number, okay? And then they will ask us to pull that, and they will say to have all the supporting documents to go along with that. So we want to make sure that our records are clean. and that we have voucher packs that are appropriate and that have the packaging slips with them, and that we don't have anything that is outdated or dated before, which means we want to make sure you guys are going through the guidelines according to our division's DJE policy. Okay, because that's exactly what they're going to be looking for. They're going to be looking for those things to see if we follow the DJE policy. And if there's anything out of order, our district will get a finding. And we don't want your principal to have a finding under their school. So please make sure that you are abiding by the policy DJE with all of your federal funds. Okay. This year is all this year's expenditures and last year expenditures are going to be up for scrutiny.
Okay, awesome. I'm not sure if Miss Hawk is on the line to elaborate more, but definitely be mindful that we are sending completed packages. And Brittany, I will send you a copy of this voucher pack. If anyone is in need of that document, just put it in the chat or send me a quick email and I will share that document with you so that you can cover that, put that on the front of your voucher packs that you send to us. And it's really a simple process. The exact same thing that you copy and send to accounts payable, just make 2 copies. Send one to them for payment, the other copy with this cover on it to Title I. And that way we have everything that we need to be audit ready. So now that we've talked about that, let's talk a little bit about payroll and some of the processing of payroll. And so all of you received another email, a second email from me last night, or you saw it early this morning. Yes, I did send you the monthly verification forms on last Friday. However, there were some updates that we needed to make. And so we resent those on yesterday with 2 tabs for you to verify. And if you look at the bottom of my screen, you'll see that it has one tab that's 8/31/22 that where you need to verify work completed in July. And there's another one that's dated 9/30/22. And those dates represent the pay dates. And that shows the August work. What we ask that you do when you receive these, this is a mandatory process. It's not optional. I do need for you to print this form, take a look at it and see whether or not all the full-time title funded staff in your building, if all of their names are on here, that their ID numbers are correct, that we're showing the correct position or work that they're doing. If it is correct and no changes are needed, check with your principal first to say, hey, are these all of our full-time people? Have there been any changes? If there are no changes, you, the bookkeeper, may sign this form and scan it back to the Title I payroll account. If there are changes that are needed, if someone is no longer functioning in a title funded position, just tell me their last date or email me and say, hey, this person is no longer working in that role. Their last date at our school in that position was whatever the date is. If a new person comes into the position, and what we mean by new is that they're new to Title I funding their position. They may be a current teacher at your school, but they weren't functioning as a Title I funded person. And again, this is for full-time people. This is how we verify anyone full-time with Title I. Anyone part-time, you are submitting a timesheet for them. This is not the same. So I know previously we've added your PIPs. Someone sent me an email with that question today. We only need full-time staff on this list. And again, I encourage you to follow up with your principal because changes may have been made that may not have been communicated to you. So you want to make sure that you are showing everyone at your school who worked through the indicated time period on that tab. So if you would check your emails from me, print both of those tabs out, verify those and scan them back. And that is due by Monday with your payroll by 12 noon. You also received from our school improvement specialist a little over a week ago another biannual verification form where you are verifying for 6 months, and you'll get that twice a year. But you need to verify for 6 months who the full-time staff was at your school, and sign that and send that back to the Title I accounts or payroll. I'm sorry, Title I payroll account. So you're going to send 3 forms if you have not: the one for July work, the one for August work, and then one for the biannual verification. Again, these are mandatory. I do need them back every month, whether you have payroll or not. I need for you to send this verification back to me every single month. And again, we are only verifying full-time staff. And so you see on the screen, all of you have received this calendar. You received it previously, showing you the Title I pay date, or not Title I, but pay date for all of us. But it shows you the schedule at the dates that your payroll is due to the Title I office for the pre-approval process that we have to go through. So you have those dates, and it shows you the time period that we're covering during that particular pay cycle. I have also updated this calendar with the lunch and learn schedule for the rest of the school year. So all of our meetings through the end of the year are listed on here. The black boxes mean that there are no meetings during that month because of holidays or end of school year, and we want to be considerate of how busy your schedule is. So we didn't schedule any during that time. However, if you need any support prior to these dates or outside of these dates, feel free to reach out to us. We are here to assist you and to give you the technical support that you need. But as far as these meetings are concerned, the link is already embedded in this calendar. So you can always connect to the meeting through this calendar. You also want to go ahead and put these dates on your calendar so that you will remember each month. And I will send you an invite as well. Again, it is optional. However, we do encourage you to come because we look forward to seeing your beautiful faces and getting the feedback from you, how our service is going. Are we serving you well where you need to be served, or where do you need additional support? And so with that, let's just go over what your next steps will be after this meeting. You need, if you have not, go in and check your FY22 budget tracking logs and look at that end of grant year tab so that you can see what dollars are available left from your FY22 budget. We encourage you to spend those dollars. Let's use them up. We don't want them to go to waste. And so get those requisitions completed and into us by September 2nd for pre-approval. Also, take this time to review your payroll. Today is the end of the payroll billing work cycle. So all payroll timesheets should be coming into you by today. You need to check them for accuracy. Make sure that they are all signed and send those to our Title I payroll inbox by Monday, 12 noon. Also, you want to work on the requisitions. Again, keep in mind the deadline that's fast approaching. September 2nd will be here before we know it. You also all have access to your FY23 budget binders. We encourage you to go take a look and peruse that and get a feel of it. And next month at our meeting, we will go in depth on the budget binders that are rolling out that you will start to use once we turn over into the FY23 budget. Again, payroll is due Monday at noon. If you have no payroll, you are required, what I need from you is to send me an email just simply stating that whatever your school is, Hampton Elementary School has no payroll for the 9/30 pay date, whatever the pay date is. Please send that because I log that. Otherwise, I will be reaching out to you to say, hey, do you have payroll? Because we want to make sure that we don't miss paying anyone. And the way that we make sure that we cover every school and every school is accounted for is by sending that email if there is no payroll. Know that we are here for you. Keisha and I are your first line of contact. If you have any questions, if you need any support, reach out to one of the two of us, both of us. If you can't get one, reach out to the other. And we are here to assist you. Remember, we will gather again next month in this Lunch and Learn session where we will go over even more relevant information on Thursday, September 29th at 1 o'clock. And at this time, we're going to open up. We still have, we have good timing. If you have questions and you'd like to speak audibly, open up your mics and ask your question at this time. I think I've addressed the ones that were in the chat, but if you have other questions, now is your time to open up and let us hear from you. If you like what we're doing, you can share that too. Y'all don't have to be shy. Is Ms. Hawk on the line? I see. Welcome, Ms. Coxon. Thank you for joining our meeting today. This is our director, Bookkeepers. If you have not met her, this is Ms. Latrina Coxon. Would you like to share something, Ms. Coxon?
No, I'm just so excited just to be here. Thank you to each and every person on this screen for your hard work and dedication in ensuring that our district, not only are we, providing the right supports and services to our students and our families, but each individual on the screen ensures that our district is physically responsive in regards to how we allocate and expend our Title I funds. That's a big task. And so we just appreciate each and every one of you for just you're just being so diligent, so efficient with your work. I sign off on all of those forms that you send up. And when I tell you, you guys just do an excellent job. And so I thank you so much. And great job, Mercedes and Keisha and Title I team. I just really appreciate that you guys are having these meetings available for our schools. 5-star service. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And just so that you know how important you all are to us, not only do we have our executive director here, I can't see her, but our director is here as well. And I just wanted to just take a moment to acknowledge the other invisible support behind us. We have Dr. Crystal Shaw, who is one of the school improvement specialists that most of you have seen in your school. And we also have Miss Melissa Atkins, who's the other school improvement specialist as well. And if you ladies would like to share something, please take a moment and just say hello, if nothing else, to our bookkeepers.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I just want to say this is Mrs. Hawk, and I've had an opportunity to meet each and every one of you all. You know how I feel about you all. You all are the heartbeat to the work that we do. And so I am just grateful that we have each of you here. And please know that when Mercedes and Keisha both say that they are here, hopefully you know and you have felt our presence, and you know that we are here to truly support you in the work. And so if you need anything, if you can't get in touch with Mercedes or Keisha, or you've reached out to Crystal and Melissa, you know, you can always reach out to me and I'll make sure that I get an answer for you. And if I don't have one at that particular time, I'll make sure that I do what I need to do to make sure that you have an answer. But again, thank you all so much for giving up your time today to make sure that you all are well prepared for payroll and for these requisitions. We already had a lot coming in so far. So that is absolutely amazing. I mean, some of you all are spending down to the penny, which makes me very excited. And I'm sure your principals are extremely excited about that as well. So thank you all for your hard work and diligence.
Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Hawk, Ms. Coxon. Dr. Shaw or Ms. Atkins, would you like to share anything at this time? Can't hear you. You're muted. It's Melissa. We can't hear you.
I'll speak on Melissa's behalf. We just want to say thank you. We work a lot with our principals, and we know the hard work that you all are doing behind the scenes as their partners in getting what they have envisioned for the school to occur. So we thank you for your partnership and for all you do every day.
Thank you. Is your mic working now, Ms. Atkins? No, okay. Well, at least wave so they know who you are. They see your beautiful face.
Yeah.
So that, we are advocates for you. We're here fighting for you,
Yeah.
making sure that there is we're forging relationships between the bookkeepers and the principals, and that we're all on the same page. We do all collaborate and work as a team. So if we know, then that Dr. Shaw and Ms. Atkins know, and so does Ms. Hawk. So there is no situation that you are experiencing that we are not all aware of. And we do share with one another, but we do truly work as a team to give you the support that you need so that you can be successful at what you do, because your role is vital. It's important. You are needed. And we want you to know that. And we want you to know that you have a team behind you pushing you towards success. So does anyone else on the line have anything else you want to share, bookkeepers, before we exit the room? Y'all don't have to be shy. Did we answer all your questions? All right. Well, Ms. Harris, I will send out that form to you at the conclusion of this meeting. Again, we are here for you. Thank you for taking time out of your day, and we will see you on the next Lunch and Learn next month.
Bye.